Hi, I'm Dayton Mayor Jeff Mims. As a mayor of the city, one of the most important things we try to do is to keep our citizens safe. With the onset of the cold weather coming and understand that we have a lot of individuals in this community that are still homeless, the aspect of functioning in a place where we want to keep everybody safe is challenging for us to think about those who are still living and trying to find space in some of the vacant homes that we have throughout the city. And while we've done a lot to reduce those homes in terms of tearing down especially blighted properties, there are still individuals who are finding shelter in those spaces. So what I'm asking this community to do is to let us know at your earliest convenience. When you see those things that don't look right, you see people staying in places that you know they don't belong there, see people staying in places where they're maybe building a fire to stay warm, give us a call here at the city so we can check those situations out, and then best we can do is maybe try to find another place for those individuals to stay. So today with me, of course, I have Deputy Chief Henderson as well as Chief Rice, who would like to add a little bit more context to some of the information that I've just shared.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. I'm Dayton Fire Chief Mike Rice. We are also joined by Lieutenant Colonel Eric Henderson, the Assistant Chief of the Dayton Police Department. The Dayton Fire Department's core mission is to save lives and property by providing exceptional fire suppression, emergency rescue, medical response, fire prevention, and public education to those who live, work, and play in the city of Dayton. The fire department makes no distinction in the housing status or socioeconomic condition of any residents of our city, including those currently unhoused, and the dedication of all of our first responders to all Dayton residents is truly unmatched. Over the past 3 years, from 2022 to 2024, the Dayton Fire Department responded to an average of 92 fires in vacant or abandoned structures each year, which have led to many injuries and fatalities. A tragic fire on North Broadway Street on March 8, 2023, resulted in 5 lives lost and shook this community. The risk of unhoused individuals staying in vacant and abandoned structures is simply too high. A surge in fires across the city this last week, as well as the impending temperature trend towards the colder winter months, both serve as stark reminders of the dangers of unhoused individuals occupying these structures within the city of Dayton. A core group of personnel from the Dayton Fire Department and the Dayton Police Department, in continuous collaboration with the Department of Planning, Neighborhoods, and Development, to maintain situational awareness of various vacant structures, encampments, and unhoused individuals, and any potential opportunities to make a positive difference in this challenging circumstance for these residents. A variety of programs within the Dayton Safety Forces assist in guiding unhoused individuals into safer living conditions through organizations such as St. Vincent de Paul and Miami Valley Housing Opportunities. The DFD Fire Investigations Unit was also recently relocated to the Dayton Police Department Safety Building to maximize the collaboration between our two departments. But despite these efforts within the City of Dayton's dedicated staff, we still need the public's help. Residents are encouraged to report vacant or abandoned structures through the Dayton Delivers portal. Dayton Delivers can be accessed through the website, daytondelivers.daytonohio.gov, or by downloading the Dayton Delivers app on any smartphone. Within this portal, residents can report issues such as unsecured structures in need of boarding, previously boarded structures that have subsequently become unsecured, human activity in and around vacant structures, structural deterioration of a building that appears to pose a safety hazard, other associated issues such as overgrowth of brush and trees causing access problems. The Dayton Delivers portal is monitored daily by the City of Dayton's Department of Public Works, and immediate safety concerns will be prioritized within the appropriate city department. Any signs of active or illegal activity in vacant or abandoned structures should be reported to the Dayton Police Department at 937-333-COPS or COPS, or by dialing 911. Tips or information related to fire incidents should be directed to the Dayton Fire Department's Investigations Unit at 937-333-TIPS. As we get into the colder months ahead, unhoused individuals throughout our city will be seeking options for a warmer place to stay. Vacant and abandoned structures simply cannot be an option for them any longer. As a community and as the city of Dayton, we simply care too much to allow our residents to stay in conditions that pose such grave safety risks. And it's time to make a change. The city of Dayton will be taking a more aggressive stance towards removing individuals from vacant and abandoned structures due to the safety risk involved. While substantial financial investment and aggressive posture on the demolition of hundreds of deteriorated structures in the city of Dayton has yielded very positive results, there's much more work to do. We will continue to work collaboratively with our community partners to ensure we're directing these individuals to safer housing options. And we will continue to ensure the safety and security of all Dayton homes by working to prevent fires throughout our neighborhoods. Thank you for attending today, and we're happy to take any questions you may have.
Anyone?
Do you guys have a prediction of how many unhoused individuals that you will try and find safer housing for?
Not right now. We just don't know because, again, we've removed a lot of those properties at this point in time. I know we're challenged throughout this community to find more and better places for individuals to be housed during the course of the winter. We know some are extremely challenged, if you will, to finding space and maintaining space, but we're going to do everything we can.
Can you kind of walk us through the process of like when someone reports through the Dayton Delivers app or the website, it goes to which department or whatever, what happens after that? You guys get a report saying a vacant structure, it poses a fire risk. What happens then?
Absolutely. So again, in collaboration, Dayton Fire, Dayton Police, and Planning Neighborhoods and Development work together in these situations, and will all three respond to that residence and one, identify if there are individuals in there, and then get them in touch with the proper services for them, whether it be St. Vincent de Paul or others. And then Planning Neighborhoods Development will work to get that structure boarded and secured so individuals don't go back into that residence.
If I could add to that too, Eric Henderson, Assistant Chief of Police. So a lot of times we receive the calls direct, if there's activity observed at a vacant residence or a nuisance property, our officers will go out and investigate. If they locate someone and there's an arrestable offense, they will take that enforcement action. But a lot of times what we run into is trying to see who actually owns the property. So it's important that people that actually have a vested interest in the property, that they keep their information on file with basically on the property with the auditor's office and the recorder's office and other entities like that. So that way, if we encounter someone on their property, we can notify them so that additional charges can be followed up on. But we have a mobile crisis response team. We have 2 officers that are dedicated to kind of the mental health and homeless type issues. And we're seeing an increase at times here in the last year or two of individuals that are utilizing these properties, and also some of the encampment issues that we're seeing. So it's a concern of ours, but one of the things, we're trying not to just arrest individuals in these situations. We want to work with other resources to try to connect them to housing. But unfortunately, at times, some of these individuals don't want to enter the housing that's available to them. We don't understand why, obviously, but at the same time, we don't give up and we continue to work with them.
And from what I understand, it seems that Dayton Delivers, the app, the website, and just citizens reporting these vacant structures to you guys, it's helping you guys locate these and prevent a fire from happening in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. We are asking for citizens to be more robust in that reporting. They see individuals, again, staying in these vacant structures, so we can get out there, get them secured, and make it safer, not only for the individuals staying in there, but the neighboring residents as well.
Can you talk about the yearly trends you all have seen maybe over the last 5 years and how this issue has changed?
Well, I'll take that question. So like I said, we've seen an increase. I don't have the statistics, the hard and fast statistics, but I just know from information I'm receiving from our officers out on the street that they're seeing an increase in this activity. And obviously with the fire, where 5 individuals lost their life, I think kind of highlighted that issue. So again, I can't highlight don't assume that any of us know about what's going on at that property. Call us. If you don't get the service that you think you should have received the first time, call us again and we'll follow up. But our officers, when they're encountering properties that should be boarded up, they're also utilizing the Dayton Deliveries app to report that information. so that the housing department can go out and make sure that someone goes out and boards that property. So,
Is this teamwork, this partnership, is this gonna be long lasting, or are we gonna wait for the results first and then keep on continuing, or?
Long lasting. Yeah, the teamwork works best when we continue and everyone knows and expects what is gonna happen next.
I believe you mentioned saying that you guys done some partnership before and you saw that it got good results, you saw some improvement, so that's why you're putting more, investment in this partnership now?
Correct, yeah. Yeah, because any loss of life is the loss of some loved one, regardless whether they're homeless or they're just there on a temporary basis. But the aspect of every citizen has value, and we want to try to protect them as best we can.
Can you talk about, how you all are emphasizing people speaking up a bit more when they see, maybe some shady things happening?
Well, the issue is that, again, we're trying to prevent the type of situations that Colonel Henderson talked about a few moments ago, where we have maybe a gathering of 4, 5, 6 individuals in a particular space, and maybe doing some things that they probably shouldn't be doing, which results in a fire. And then again, sometimes it catches them maybe off guard. They may not have a working fire detector in that space, and then it puts them in a situation where they're at harm, they're at risk. And we do the best we can to get those spaces as soon as we can, but sometimes it's too late.
Don't you think the biggest fear for people that are staying in vacant houses and stuff is mainly that they're wanted or have warrants, or they don't want to be involved with police in any way, shape, or form? How do you handle that situation?
Well, I think the same way. We still want to keep them safe. Yeah, we want to keep them safe. We have some situations where some individuals do not want to go to a shelter because they do not want to follow all the rules that the shelter requires. And so for them, if they have some other habits that they want to exercise, they try to stay someplace else where they don't have that scrutiny.
For individuals who are intentionally lighting fires to stay warm in the winter, how are we telling them the dangers of smoke inhalation, and how are we expressing that them starting a fire is equally as dangerous as them being cold?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we work very proactively with our fire prevention unit, our fire investigation unit, to get that messaging out. It becomes difficult when we don't know where someone is staying and they're utilizing these resources to stay warm, which aren't traditional heating resources. They may have open flames in a structure, again, as the mayor mentioned, with no fire detection system, no smoke detectors. And those are the situations we want to avoid. Whenever we find a situation like this, or we have a fire, our fire investigators routinely educate the individuals that were in the structure at the time to hopefully get them to not do it again.
Can you talk about the impact, when it comes to the work that you'll have to put in to get these fires out, and just, maybe having to deal with the house after the fact? Some of those big picture implications of when people are starting these fires.
Sure. So we respond to all house fires or all structure fires the same, whether it's a vacant structure or occupied structure. And our firefighters are there not only to put the fire out, but it's to save lives. And so when we go to these structures, we originally think there's a possibility there's someone inside. So we have to do the same thing we do at every other structure fire. We enter, we search, and we put the fire out. However, with these vacant structures, it tends to go beyond that, specifically if there's a lot of damage to the structure and it's become unstable, and then it's going to be a possible danger to the community. Then we have to work with planning and neighborhoods development to do an emergency demolition. And they come in, get the property demolished, and then that sits in what we call a fire pile until it can be cleaned up.
Yeah, I want to also add that every fire that the department approaches also is a risk of life for them as well. So you're having the fire and police all working together to address these concerns. They're putting their life at risk as well.
And then can you maybe reiterate not the inevitability, but, when someone's lighting a fire inside of these homes that don't have, electricity and all these other things, is that something that is inevitable, a fire inside?
Yes, I mean, there are times when they have them contained in a certain manner, such as an existing fireplace, that they may utilize that and it may not spread. But many times individuals are using, again, non-traditional elements to stay warm. Combustible materials and next to combustible furnishings in a structure. And it's not always intentional when these fires start, but they do start, and then we have those dangers. And as the mayor mentioned, responding to vacant house fires adds an element of danger for our firefighters. Because many times there have been elements removed in that structure, such as floor furnaces, and there's now holes in the floor where we could have a firefighter fall through. So it adds a significant amount of danger for our folks as well.